Hey guys, welcome to Factoring Quadratic Equations 101. So this is super important because factoring is something that you're going to need from algebra, geometry, pre-calc. You're always going to need this. It's going to keep showing up again and again. It's a very important skill. But make sure you know your multiplication facts before we get into this because you're going to need to know that for this. But we need to learn the basics of factoring because that's super important. We're going to start with an easy equation, but we're going to go a little bit more challenging, but this is just the basics. Once again, this becomes very important in your future math classes and math endeavors. So first, we're identifying A, B, and C. So A is the coefficient of the x squared, B is the coefficient of the x, and then C is the constant. That's A, B, and C. So then we're going to use the x puzzle. And basically, at the top of an x puzzle, it's A times C. That number goes up there. And the bottom of the x puzzle is the number for B. So we know B is 6. A times C, 1 times 8, so 8. So now we're going to need two numbers that add up to the bottom and multiply to the top number. So two numbers that add to get the bottom number and multiply to get the top number. So once you think a little, you realize it's 4 and 2. 4 plus 2 equals 6. 4 times 2 equals 8. At first, it's going to take a little while. But then, you're going to put these numbers in parentheses. So it's going to be x plus 4. Pay attention to the symbol since it's positive. And then x plus 2. It's the numbers on the left and right of the x puzzle. And these equations are equal to 0. You can only factor things when they're equal to 0. Then you're going to solve. So x plus 4 equals 0. That's going to be x equals negative 4. And when x plus 2 equals 0, you're going to solve that. That's going to be x equals negative 2. You can only factor quadratic equations when they're equal to 0. Okay? Once they're equal to 0, then you can factor. And those are our answers. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of a harder problem where A, it's greater than 1. A is 3 now, so it's a little bit different. So we're identifying A, B, and C. We're doing the x puzzle. A times C is at the top, and B goes at the bottom. So pay attention to the symbols. There's negative signs now. So 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. Pay attention to those symbols. And then B is negative 7. So two numbers that add up to negative 7 and multiply to get negative 18. Think for a little bit. Pause the video and think. So after you pause, you should have gotten negative 9 and 2. Negative 9 times 2 is negative 18. And negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7. So when A is greater than 1, it's a little different. It's called the ratio method. So you can't just go from there. You have to put the A up top as a fraction above those numbers. Because remember, when it was also the 3 over negative 9 can be simplified to 1 over negative 3. But remember, when A was 1, it's just like a 1 at the top. It's the same thing. We didn't have to write that. But now you have to write it out. So now it's going to be 1x minus 3 and 3x plus 2. You're using those fractions from the left and right sides. And then once again, these quadratic equations are always equal to 0. So now you're going to solve each number in each equation in the parentheses, expression in the parentheses, equal them to 0. And it's going to give you x equals 3. And then when you solve the right-hand expression, it's going to give you, you're going to solve it out, subtract 2 from both sides, divide both sides by 3, so x is going to equal negative 2/3. And that is Factoring 101. Make sure to practice more of these equations and follow these steps, and soon it'll be very easy. Thanks for watching.